Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda Farrer of inspiringinkin.com. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this little bowl. It's actually made from folded paper. It's really quick and simple to do. And also I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this lovely flower using the festive flower builder punch and also the reason for the season stamp set. Now I know this is called the festive flower builder punch, but I have a bit of sneaky information for you. This punch is carrying on into the next catalogue, the Spring Summer 2016 catalogue, which launches on the 5th of January. I might just have one here, but I can't show it to you. I certainly can't show you the inside. I can show you the front cover, that's allowed in the rules, but I'm not allowed to actually show you what's inside. But when you get your copy, on page 46, you will find a brand new stamp set called Friends and Flowers, and it matches the punch, and it's super cute. You'll need it. So if you haven't already got this punch, you need the punch, not only for this stamp set, but for the matching one that's coming. Now, if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a copy of either the current catalogues or this new one when it's launched, then send me a message. Either email me, amanda@inspiringinkin.com, or find me on Facebook, or leave a message in the comments below on YouTube. However you want to contact me, you do that, and I will make sure that you go on my mailing list and I'll get a copy sent out to you. In between Christmas and New Year, that's when I'll be sending them out. So you've got something to look forward to. Okay, right, I'm going to hide this now. So, the flower. What you're going to need is the punch, ink pads. I've got cherry cobbler and old olive, matching cardstock, old olive, cherry cobbler, and for the little tiny flower in the centre, I've got a little bit of crushed curry. Now, the stamp set is actually photopolymer, and it's easiest to stamp after you've actually punched the pieces out. So I will show you what I mean. So I'm using all three of the leaves. So first up, I'm just going to punch a couple of pieces. That's for this piece here. I've got two of those. Then I am going to punch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for this smallest section, we're using the double petal, so we need 3 of those. For the next layer out, this one, we're going to need 5. So that's this size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, yep, 5 again. Okay, now what will happen is you'll end up with little extra pieces. Just hang on to those and you'll find some really interesting flower combinations that you can kind of make as you mix them all up. And then I want 3 of the larger flowers, and it's easiest 3 of the larger flowers? No, 3 of the larger leaves. Okay, it's easiest because it's this leaf or petal here. If you feed your cardstock in as a strip from the right hand side, then you're not actually wasting too much card as you're going along. Okay, so that's 3 of those and lots of other little bits, so I'll push those onto one side. Okay, And then finally I've got my 1 inch circle punch. I'm just going to do one of those, and that will make sense in a minute when we start layering it up. So, cherry cobbler. So I'm using, there are two leaves stamps. So I'm using the bigger one, this one, with the old olive to make the leaves, and then I'm using this smaller one on the cherry cobbler petals. So it's much easier, as I said, to stamp after. Basically, because you can see where you're going, because obviously it's a photopolymer stamp. So all I'm doing is just stamping on the two larger sizes of petals. And then there is a double petal as well. So I'm going to just do that one. So we've got 3 of those. Those to one side. Try not to get ink all over your fingers. And then I'm just making my leaves. Fab. Okay. Now you'll see on these that there is a little bit of dimension on all of the flowers, and basically all I've done with all of them is just folded them in half. And I'm happy where it crumples up a little bit. It just it stops it looking so flat. So it just takes a moment to do all of them. Just be careful when you're doing these double petals, because obviously you've got a really skinny bit in the middle and you don't want to tear that. So just do that. Oh, try not to drop them on the floor. And that one. That one. Okay. So I'm just putting them into their sizes again, just easier. And then we are going to get some Tombow, a nice full Tombow. And on the 1-inch circle, I'm just putting a fair amount of Tombow over the whole thing. And then I'm going to lay down the 5 largest petals. And then I'm going to put a little bit more glue over the top. You're going to use plenty of Tombow, that's why I said we need a nice full one. And then I'm going to put the next size petal sort of in the gaps. If you need to put a little bit more glue on, then don't worry. Just add a little bit more onto those petals, just to make sure that it's actually got something to to stick to. Okay. Try not to get too much Tombow on your fingers, because then the cardstock wants to stick with you. Now I'm going to use glue dots now for this last little bit, and I'm going to put them on the joining piece, and I'm going to crisscross them so it lays down and sits down really, really well. And then I'm going to use a dimensional on the back, and then that will sit beautifully there. Haven't forgotten those little crushed curry pieces. So again, I'm just going to use a tiny dot of Tombow to stick those down. You could use glue dots as well, but you'd have to fold them over a little bit because they'll be too big for these really. Tombow, come on. And then going down there like so. And then I've got my dimensionals. No, rhinestones. I keep all of my rhinestones and my pearls and my dimensionals and my glue dots and things in these cases. There are wood mount stamp cases, and obviously you can see I've got it labelled up there, and they just stand on my shelf. And it just means that they're easy to pick up, and I've always got them to hand. And it means as well that when I've got whole sheets or part sheets, they all stay contained. Okay, so that's the flower so far. And then the last thing I'm going to do is to put the leaves just at the back. So again, a little bit more Tombow. I just want them to peek out from behind the petals. Just press it down, just like that. So it's really quick and easy to do. I'm just going to leave it facing that way a second whilst I put some dimensionals on the back, ready to decorate the box in a little while. Okay, right, so that's the finished flower. Now let's make the little bowl. Now what you need for this are 3 sheets of design series paper. This size bowl, which ends up measuring about 4.5 inches in its sort of diameter, starts out with a 6-inch piece. You can make them bigger, so you can make them in any size, so long as you can start off with that size square paper. So actually what I'm going to do is turn my grid paper over. It's a bit gluey. I don't want the paper to stick. Okay, so you're going to need a bone folder and your square piece of paper. The first thing you're going to do is fold it point to point so you're making a triangle. Now take the time to reinforce all your score lines. It makes it much easier later on. And whichever side you want on the outside, that's the side that you're working on. Okay, so this bit inside you're not going to see at all. So whatever the side is you're working on, that's what you're going to see. So you've got a triangle. You're then going to take the right hand point and bring it up like so. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. Like that. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to bring the point down to meet that fold line, like so. So you've actually got, in the end, 4 equal sized triangles. Okay, so you can do exactly the same with the other pieces of paper. Now, obviously I'm using designer series paper at the moment. You can make this with card, but it's because there are quite a few folds in it, it's more difficult. So if you want to make it with card, just take your time when you're making it, and really work on all the score lines, just so that they're nice and crisp. Okay, so the last one. So you make it into a triangle. Bring one point up. The second point up. And then you're going to fold that one back down again. Okay. Right, so you've got 3 that are exactly the same. Now, what we're going to do now is join them all together and curve them round to make the bowl shape. So with one facing you, so you've got the score lines, the main score line facing you each way. What you're going to do is pop that one into there, and then that one into there. Okay, and then you're going to put that one down. So when you're looking at this, the left hand triangle is actually tucked underneath there. So that's the left hand triangle and it's tucked underneath, and that's the right hand triangle there and that's tucked underneath. Okay, so holding that piece and that piece, because then it doesn't fall apart, what you're going to do is curve it in. And this point here is going to slot into that hole just there. So that piece is going in there like that. And just wriggle it and it will sit in there nice and snugly. Okay. So I'm just going to tip this forward to you now. Now you can see why it's called a triangle bowl. So obviously this bit is triangular shaped and all the folds make triangles. Now if you flip it over, these flaps, this is actually going to make your base. Now what I do is I just split them out, and then I just fold 1 down, 2 down and 3 down like that. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue on each bit. Let's get a new Tombow. Tiny bit of glue. And then another bit of glue. And then if you put your hand in the bottom and just press them down, they'll just stick down. And then I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the whole of that triangle there and there and there. And then again, just fold them over, one on top of the other. Okay, give it a good press down and the bowl's finished. And it's really sturdy. There's 4 layers of cardstock paper on the side walls and 4 at the bottom. So it's actually really, really sturdy. You can, if your score lines aren't quite lined up, you can just all wiggle them around a little bit. And then you've got your little flower that we made earlier. And that can go just there. And there we go. So there you have a triangle bowl all finished. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If you'd like more information, please scroll down. There's links to all the products that I've used and where you can find me on Facebook and my blog www.inspiringinkin.com. You can also find more inspiration there, shop with me there. I would love to hear from you. So leave me a comment, subscribe or chat to me. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye bye.